Hello adventurers, and welcome back to Wally DM. Today's puzzle is the Corridor of Lava Rocks. This is intended for characters that have no method of flying or levitation. Our current scenario, our adventurers are in a room, and to the west they see a floor that glows. This is a magical floor though, and it is not giving off any heat. Depending on their perception checks, the characters could note that the floor looks to be made up of hot lava rocks. Should the party start to walk in there, their footwear will immediately catch on fire and they will begin to start taking damage for as long as they are in the corridor. Now the way to get past the corridor, I'll get to that in a minute, but depending on the level of the party, a fun way to use this puzzle is maybe they're in this room and they hear some singing off to the west. It's not really a harpy, but it'll work for this demonstration. They hear some singing off to the west and there's a room full of harpies, so the characters will have to make a saving throw or start to be lured in by the harpies' music. In doing so, they begin to take damage as they walk across the corridor of lava rocks. Now then, how do we get past this? Each character is going to need an item from the Ultimate Equipment Pathfinder book on page 100. It's an alchemical remedy known as Fire Ward Gel. When a character applies this thin gel to their skin, armor, or clothing, it creates a resistant barrier that protects them from fire or heat damage. They also gain fire resistance 5. The gel burns away as it absorbs fire damage or heat damage, and when it absorbs a total of 20 points of fire or heat damage, it is done. Now it is up to the DM as to how the characters obtain the Fire Ward Gel, but once they do, they need to make sure that they coat their feet and their legs with this gel so they are able to walk across the corridor of lava rocks. Now when they get across, it doesn't necessarily need to be a harpy on the other side or a monster. Of course, they could just figure this out and there could be treasure over there. It could be an optional room. The party doesn't have to complete the puzzle, but are rewarded heavily for doing so. Of course, in my campaign, the corridor of lava rocks will be used as a gateway, challenging the players to get through. Now, as far as the Fire Ward Gel is concerned, the easy way to do it is to put it in a treasure chest that the party finds somewhere along the way. But here's how I'm going to set this up. Since no one in my current Pathfinder campaign are alchemists, this is how I plan on having the characters find the Fire Ward Gel. They'll enter this room here. This room has 3 chairs along the north wall. They are ratty and old. They look like at one time they might have been luxurious and comfortable, but now they look rotting and decayed. There still seems to be some kind of maybe some kind of leather. The leather is old and cracked. There's also a small empty pool over here in the corner of the room. Now when the characters come through, they're going to make a saving throw. If they fail this saving throw, let's say out of our 3 characters here, our little halfling fails the saving throw, he's going to walk over and sit in one of these chairs. Now what's good about having the party make a saving throw is a lot of times when you come into a room and you say everyone make a saving throw versus will, or whatever the case may be, most of the times characters are going to think that that's a bad thing, that a bad thing's about ready to happen to them. Well, in this case, they're just going to get a different experience if they fail a saving throw. So in this guy's case, he comes over and he sits in the chair. Now, these 2 here didn't make their saving throws, so they're kind of staring at him like, dude, what the heck you doing? But what this guy sees is a really clean room The chair that he's sitting in is made of leather and very comfortable and very nicely made. It looks brand new. And what's going to happen is our little halfling here is going to see a young woman, like a ghostly apparition, come over here and put a seat down and ask him to take off his shoes. That is, if the halfling's wearing shoes anyway. But once the shoes are removed, the young woman will start applying the fireward gel to the feet and the legs of the character. Now this process will take 10 or 15 minutes, and the character will not get up from the chair. In fact, will yell at his party members, "Hey, leave me alone, I'll be done in 10 minutes. This is awesome, just leave me alone." Now, I'm sure that the party, when they do get to the corridor of the lava rocks, those that did get the gel on their feet should put 2 and 2 together and realize that they can walk across the corridor of lava rocks. Now they can come back to this room, and if a character willingly sits in the chair, the same thing will happen. A young lady will come out, an apparition, set down a chair, ask the party member to take off their shoes or their boots, and will apply the gel to their feet. Once the gel is applied, the apparition disappears, and the characters snap back to real life. Everything looks old and ruined and dungy once again. When they come out of the trance, they feel refreshed, like they just had a massage, and the oil or the fireward gel that is on their feet and their legs feels really good, and the character is not worried about having it on. So once the characters have the fireward gel on their feet or their legs, they can walk across the corridor of lava rocks and get whatever's on the other side. I hope you enjoyed this puzzle. Please like and subscribe. If you'd like to see more of these videos, please leave a comment below. Thanks again for watching. On to the next.